Welcome to the Aceman, everybody. It's time to go behind the funny. This is Scott Higgins.
And this is Ace Aceto.
And thank you for joining us. Thank you for downloading us. Thank you for subscribing. We appreciate it so very much. And if you have a moment, please give us that 5-star written review wherever you download your podcast. It's a great way to help the podcast. If you want to help us out another way, tell a friend. We all learn about podcasts from our friends' recommendations, and that's a way you can help us out by recommending us to a friend.
And the last way, if you really enjoy the show, is to go to our Patreon page and become a patron. And that is at www.patreon.com/behindthefunny. And what that will get you, it's one simple giving level, $5 a month. That will get you a t-shirt or a mug, some sort of merchandise, as well as unlocking bonus content that only our patrons can access.
Thank you so much for supporting us. If you want to reach out, you got a question for us, you got a comment, anything, please send us an email at behindthefunnypod@gmail.com.
And now, enjoy the show.
Be careful. He's
and Scott Higgins, both of them coked up out of their minds.
Listen to you. He's down in the basement. Yeah. Oh, I love that.
I think we should call this the Acement.
The Acement, yes.
Yeah, what do you think there, huh?
I like that. The Acement Studios.
Excuse me, I'm drinking beer. Hold on a second.
We usually drink bourbon on our end.
Yeah,
when we
right.
do the podcast, so
That's all right.
feel free to enjoy yourself.
Yeah, exactly. You shoot an 8-ball if you want. We don't care, as long as it's good stories.
Do you love 80s and 90s music?
You freaking should.
Yeah, because if not, you have issues. But if you do, then boy, do we have the podcast for you.
The Mixtape.
Yes, Matt, the Mixtape, where we chat about, 80s and 90s music mostly.
Yeah, we sprinkle some other stuff in there too, though. A smattering of 70s and early 2000s.
Throw in celebrity interviews, a lot of immature humor, and some actual content, and you have a hell of a good time.
We do have a good time, don't we?
Yes, we do. Check us out. Spotify, Pandora, Apple, iHeart, pretty much all the places you find podcasts. You can search for us, The Mixtape Podcast. That's 4 words. Find us, listen, subscribe, share, and stay awesome.
Welcome to the Aceman, everybody. It's time to go behind the funny. This is Scott Higgins.
And this is Ace Aceto, and you just heard, hopefully, if everything
did
worked,
it just right,
you just heard a little promo from our friends over at the Mixtape Podcast. They are good friends of ours. They just cut a new promo, asked us to play it, so hopefully you heard that. If not, we'll try it again. At the end.
And we've promoted them in the past, for a little while, but they have a great podcast if you guys want to check it out. Mixtape Podcast, a bunch of self-proclaimed idiots that love to discuss stuff from the 80s and into the 90s, a lot of music, TV, some movie references, stuff like that, and these guys are a blast. We had them on our podcast for an episode, and we just had a blast hanging out with them, and we have become just true fans of their show, and proud to say we're friends with these guys, so you got to check them out. So
I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted.
I know you are, and I was trying to power through it.
You did a great job.
But
one of our guests is acting like a jackass.
And I was going to say,
Big shocker.
He could bring things to a halt, and how perfect is it that we're discussing the bus tonight?
Yes, exactly. So our guests tonight are Don't
forget.
I'm sorry. Let's talk about our bourbon
date. We are still working on Ace's extremely overpaid for bourbon.
Yes.
Horse Soldier, which is a veteran-owned company that makes this fine bourbon that we've been enjoying the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And we will continue to enjoy.
It's very good.
At approximately $138 a sip. So, thanks to Ace Aceto.
Yeah, pretty much.
Buying bourbon after drinking bourbon.
I know I've said it the past few weeks. I will say it until we run out of this. Folks, if you go to a fundraiser and you're bidding on a silent auction for bourbon, don't drink bourbon because you will way overpay for that
But
bourbon.
it all went to a great cause.
Yes, it went to the Izzy
the
Foundation.
Izzy Foundation, run by our good friend Carla Mulhern.
yes.
So, cheers.
Cheers, guys. Here's to our guests. We have 2 guests. You know, we were talking about how funny it is that we could literally have Brad Pierce on every week, and he would still come in with some crazy story.
New stories. All new stories.
So literally, we had Brad on
a month?
less than probably a month and a half ago, and within 4 days, we were both getting texts. I got another story for the podcast. You're not going to believe this one. 3 days later, guess what? Another story. So we thought it would be a great opportunity. And then, you know, when he came on, he was talking about a local venture, the Comedy Bus. And since then, I've had the opportunity to work on it. And so we thought it'd be a good idea to have the owner of the Comedy Bus on, Mike Keller. So, Mike, welcome to the Behind the Funny podcast.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And Brad, welcome back.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
You can get,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you think being a professional DJ and a
Well,
comic,
I know,
you know
but
how to use a
like,
thing.
I look like I got one arm
You're not-
right now.
oh, my God.
Yeah, I got...
Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
That's what he's worried about.
Yeah, I want to look good for the 3 people watching on Facebook right now, or whatever the hell
Yeah.
this live stream goes to.
He was off camera.
Oh, thank you.
Start,
See it? Look at that. I want to
There we
get
go.
my
Yeah.
arm in there.
Never
good
mind
to
the
go.
1,200
Next.
people
Good to be
that
here.
listen on audio.
I know,
We're
but they
worried about the-
can't see my arm.
We're worried about the 3
Hey,
people watching.
next-
because they look at my arm.
Next,
That
he'll
looked
be
like I had
complaining
one on.
about the spotlight being too bright like he usually does at shows.
No, that's because I want to see the crowd.
Yeah, I know.
It's good to be here. Nice
Yeah.
to see you.
We're glad
as
you
well.
we're glad you were able to come back on.
I wish I could remember
We're glad
all the stories. I know a few of them,
Yeah, there were
but whatever
3
the first one was, it's gone.
There were 3 of
Yeah.
them that you told me to write down, and unfortunately, that's upstairs right now.
I
but
think I got it.
We'll get there. But I figured, you know, before we end, why don't we end with you and your crazy life, since you've been on before, and I wanted to talk a little bit with Mike to kind of see, like, you know, how did this idea come about? Did you see it in other cities? You know, how did you get started? And then, like, you know, discuss some, you know, what your plans are for the future. Because I have to say, it's a great concept. And, you know, I look at it as it's no different than the Boston Duck Tours. A lot of the Boston Duck Tour operators are actually comics.
Yeah.
I mean, Jody Sloan used to
Johnny
do it.
Peasy.
Johnny Peasy.
Yep.
Dana J. Bine just announced that he's going to be doing it. So it's very similar. You're given a tour of the city, but unlike the Duck Tours, we don't have to drive the bus, which is probably a good idea, especially with the black cloud that's over at Brad. You'd probably have to double your insurance
gonna say.
premiums. Mike, you're not going to guess who I hit. Who? Did you say what or who?
I hit the governor again.
Yeah, right. So how did everything get started? Where'd you come up with the idea?
Yeah, so my wife and I, you know, whenever we go out, we just love comedy. You know, we would go to local shows, and every time we would travel, we would try to catch whatever comedian was in town and whatnot. And I always wanted to be in that industry, but I'm not that funny. So it was a problem. So I wanted to break into that industry, but I also wanted to bring something fun and exciting to Providence, and this kind of was a way to incorporate the two.
Yep.
We had been to Austin, Texas, I believe it was, where they've done like tours of the city, and they've had musicians and done some pretty cool things. I know they do some fun stuff like that in Nashville and whatnot, but I felt as though it was kind of lacking in Providence.
Around here, yeah.
You know, so it just gives us opportunity to showcase all the great things of the city, but also incorporate that comedy aspect of it and have that live show on wheels, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's so how does the whole I know, but for the sake of the audience, how does what is the experience? What can people expect when they book a trip on the Comedy Bus?
Yeah, so that's I find one of the most difficult things to do with what we have going is to kind of portray the experience to the consumer, because it's something that's very unique. So basically, you hop on the bus. It's a beautiful bus, very comfortable. You got a bathroom in the back. It's BYOB, so you get to bring your own booze, which is nice. You hop on the bus. There's a comedian like Brad up front. He's kind of giving you a background of the city, but he's doing a live show at the same time. So it's R-rated comedy the entire time. You're having some drinks, having a good time, and then we have a stop halfway through at a brewery where you can kind of hop off, stretch your legs. We provide free pizza there, and you can use the restroom and get back on the bus, and we have a second comedian that comes on and finishes off the tour to our original destination.
So it's cool. It's all total. It's what, 2.5 hours.
So it's about
start to finish?
90 minutes to 2 hours, like
Yep.
right in that range. Yep. We advertise it as 90 minutes, but it usually runs a little bit, like 10, 15 minutes over that.
Right. And so, I mean, like I said, I had the opportunity to do it. Mike Murray and I did it on a Sunday afternoon a few weeks ago. And yeah, I'll be honest, from a comics point of view, I was nervous because, Brad, gloom and doom. It's not like a regular show, just so you know, Ace Aceto. So I didn't know how it was going to go doing material. And, luckily I did the trip back. So
They were sauced
I
up?
got to, well, yeah, they were great. But Mike, I got to kind
That's
of
usually a better crowd for you when you're drunk. and
Yeah, exactly.
sauced up.
But I got a chance to watch Mike and how he intermingled, Mike Murray,
Yeah.
how he intermingled
How he
his
handled it.
act
Yeah.
versus, oh, by the way, here's this. And so on the way back, I was able to do the same thing, but you come back in a different route.
Now, let me ask you, because, Brad, you've done a lot, and I haven't had a chance to do it. Yeah, Ace, you've done it. Are you guys telling actual facts about the city, or are you just kind of making jokes about things? As
Both.
you go along?
It's a little bit of
Both.
both.
A little bit of both, yep.
I think
Like James Woods didn't actually get a hand job at that Honeydew
is
Donut,
that what you said?
but I say that pretty often.
No, because the duck tours, you're getting actual
Yeah,
historical
it's
There's
a
that
mix.
too,
There's
yes.
a
About
few.
the city.
There's a few actual facts, but honestly, like when I got on, I didn't have the fact sheet in front of me, so
I
I was
take
just
a picture
like,
of that Honeydew Donuts now.
I was just like, hey, we're going up Federal Hill. This is where the mafia was based in New England. So, but the Italians aren't here anymore. So duck, and they laughed. And then I said, all right, now we're turning to the west side behind Federal Hill. So get under your seats. And the funniest that day was they were laughing, but the people at the back of the bus that we weren't sure how they were going to go, like they were very urban, flat baseball cap, face tattoos.
That's your crowd.
Oh yeah, yeah,
right in your wheelhouse.
White boy Italian from North Providence. They were fantastic. But what was funny is I said, "Oh, now we're going through the west side, so get under the seats because guns illegal here or whatever." I said, and all of a sudden, two of the girls were knocking on the window, waving at someone outside. I said, "Of course, you people know people here." But they were fantastic.
Yeah.
The funniest thing was I did the Foster Gloucester joke, and one of the guys that looked like he was in a gang raised his hand when I said, "Who's from Foster Gloucester?" I was like, "This is like the bizarro
Basically,
world." It was
Ace
crazy.
learned a lot about the non-white community. in
Yes,
Rhode Island.
yes.
It was culturally eye-opening
Yeah.
for Ace Aceto.
No, it's not like I've never been in front of a urban crowd.
Ace is
He's
like,
very
these people
in
have
North
a
Providence.
very strong tan over here outside of Coventry.
No, they weren't African American. They were actually Hispanic. So,
If
but
their
they liked
ringtone
it.
wasn't Dean Martin, he didn't know.
no,
What's going on.
no, not at all. No, but it was a great
to the
experience. All right, that was Frank Sinatra.
I know.
assholes.
Hey, I say tomato.
I know. But it was a cool experience because everyone was there to just have a good time.
Now, you guys do these shows, what, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
We do, yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes twice.
One show on each night and
Right,
one on
but-
Sunday?
But with private tours added too. So sometimes you'll have like your scheduled tour, but somebody booked it for the
So like a
afternoon.
group can book it if they
Yeah.
want to do something like
Brad
that.
sounds real excited about it. No, I'm just kidding.
For Brad, that
It
that
ain't
is
excited because I'm
excitement for
fucking
Brad.
broke and I am sick of karaoke. So I am very excited about
Now,
it.
is there a website where people can look
Yeah,
up and
so
get
basically
information?
you hop on our website and there's a full calendar there. It'll list each date that we have available for public bookings. And then if you want to do a private event, which are some of my favorite because you get a group of all people.
Yeah,
that know
when
each
they're
other.
friends in a group, they get a little looser. So
Yes, exactly.
They probably also get rowdier.
Yeah.
judging from Brad's face.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
sometimes.
And they'll give Brad some extra material to kind of dig in on them, which is nice. But as far as the public tours go, we have all that listed right on our website. So you just pick a date, pick a time that works for you best.
Yep.
And then you can book your tickets right there, hop right on the bus, and you're just with a good crowd of people. It's
Yeah.
very spacious, comfortable. So
Everyone had a good time, even though like that group was probably 10 of them, and then there were like 2s and 4s, and someone was celebrating their birthday, and it was fun.
Yeah,
though.
it's the best part. We get big groups, people celebrating different things. We get people on a date night. People solo just want to learn about the city, tourists, all kinds of stuff. So it's fun.
Now, Brad, who are some of the comedians you've had on there so far?
Let's see. So Steve Donovan.
Yeah.
For 10 years, I thought his name was Donovan, but I recently learned.
Oh, really?
It's
I thought
Donovan.
it was Donovan too.
Yeah, maybe he's full of shit. I think it's Donovan.
He's probably
He just-
busting your balls.
he
No
just wants-
Tell them, listen, you're not on radio right now. So
Yeah,
shut
right.
the hell
It's
up.
Donovan.
You're
Get
gonna
over
take it however
who-
I say it.
Who's Donovan? That sounds so stupid. Anyways, but he does it. Murray has. Alan Morrow's a regular. Sam Ike is a regular. We've had Bill Simus. We've had Dale Kova. We've had Kirsten Logan. We've had Corey G. We've had. I'm probably forgetting some people.
No, but
No,
you
just wanted to sample. So
Yeah.
a lot of the really good Rhode
Yeah.
Island area comics.
You know what it
So
is
that's
though?
not-
The
Derek
common.
Furtado's doing it soon, so
Oh,
he's going to be in
wow.
town from New York.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Jonathan Tilson's going to be in town for a couple of shows.
Nice.
He's doing
So
the
he's
bus.
doing-
He's doing
Yeah,
a couple
well,
buses.
And you know what's interesting is everyone he named are people who can handle any type of crowd.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. He's picking the right people for that
Yeah,
job.
you can't get someone who's just going to stand up there and tell a setup punchline. You have to have people that know how to do crowd work.
So, sir, where'd you drive in from?
Yeah. No, but you have to have people who can do crowd work and adapt.
Right.
It's almost like, you know what I found it was like? It was like old time bachelor parties where you would do a little bit of your material and they would be okay with it, but then you'd see, someone would be looking out the bus. So you'd all of a sudden start going into crowd work mode.
Yeah.
And then you do that for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
And honestly,
You gotta adapt.
it's 25 minutes each way. I thought, I was like, holy shit. Yeah, I mean, I normally on stage, I'll do 55 minutes, but I was like, what's going to work on the bus? All of a sudden, Mike Murray's lighting me. He goes, hey, wrap it up. And I was like, holy shit, I feel like I did 3 jokes.
When you're cruising and everyone's
Yeah,
having fun,
and
it
everyone's
actually
having
flies.
fun.
There's been times too where Mike will alert me like, okay, we're 5 minutes from revival, and I'm like, really?
Yeah,
like we just
right.
left.
Yeah.
When you're clicking and everyone's into it,
And
it
everyone's
flies.
having fun.
It goes fast.
And
yeah.
again, because you don't have to rely on just doing your material. You could just look out the window and go,
Oh, yeah.
hey, yeah, that's where Edgar Allan Poe killed himself. They're fucking make it up.
That's what we
You
did
just-
the first few buses. It was just me.
Yeah.
So I basically did like an hour, but it was warm out and we had the windows open.
Right,
So
right.
it gave me a lot more to play with.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it took time to kind of, I feel like, come down to the perfect formula because we went from 1 comic to 3 comics, but this 2-person,
Two
comic
seems
thing
good.
seems great.
It seems perfect because there's no
Sounds
pressure.
like that's been working
Yeah.
one each way. That's a good
There's no pressure,
combination.
and it's literally, like you said, it's 20 minutes out, 22 minutes out, 22 minutes back, and that's fairly, easy to do. Even if the crowd is getting a little crazy, you just switch back and forth between crowd work and your material.
So Brad,
Yes, sir.
you being you,
I'm me, yes.
and you set yourself up for awkward situations.
I sure
on
do.
a constant basis.
I sure do.
Because I can show you the long list of texts.
Man, I wish I could remember them all.
I'll run
have there-
upstairs if we forget.
No, I know those 3.
Have there been a couple of good situations on the bus that you've put yourself in?
all right.
I know of one particular, and you may have told it last time you were here, but I don't care. It's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about the Billy Gilman thing
Yes,
last
that's
last
my
show.
favorite
Which
one.
was,
That was
the,
great.
the best part about that was 2 weeks later, I'm at the fundraiser where I bought this very expensive bourbon.
Yes,
And who was I with? But Billy
Yeah.
Gilman.
That's
And
a
I
nice
said,
photo.
hey, I heard you were on the comedy bus. He goes, how'd you know that? I go, my friends were the comics. He goes, oh my God, it was so funny. He goes, when they ever called me Mini George Michael, he goes, it was funny. We had a really, really good time. I said, I wish I was there because that sounds like it was so much fun.
Yeah, that he was such a good sport about
He was
it too,
great,
and I
yeah.
didn't learn till much later that was Billy Gilman.
What are you doing on a bus, buddy? Your career's going as well as mine, and he's just sitting there quietly laughing, going, "I played a fucking theater last night, asshole."
I thought it was just some nice little.
The guy has actually done fairly well for himself.
Oh yeah, he's done
slightly
very well.
better than me.
And this guy's attempting to shit on him as he's telling jokes on a bus.
Well, he got the last
Crazy.
laugh when he collected his paycheck the next day.
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
situations on the bus. I don't know, Mike. If anything pops into your head, I feel like every ride's a different adventure.
It sounds like you guys have found a pretty good formula.
Yeah,
That's
it's been
worked
good.
so
There's
far.
nothing that really sticks out to me.
No,
as anything
I'm sure
crazy
every
other than-
comic has done well. I was just hoping you have done something to screw up.
Yeah, I probably have.
He's probably blocked it out of his
I
mind.
probably have. It's a weekend, like pretty much every weekend this happens to me, so you can understand. So it's
Right.
It does vary every time. Man, I don't know. This is not anything to happen, but I just remember one time that was really fun was on Thayer Street when those we got those pamphlets asking us to like convert to become communists. Do you remember that day?
I do.
They were giving
on
us
Thayer Street.
Yeah,
No.
it's shocking, right?
Yeah,
There's not a lot of
very
capitalists
shocking.
on
Yeah.
Thayer Street, but there is a lot of stores.
Yes.
So that's the irony.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a really fun one because that's when it was a warm day and the windows were open and they were handing our passengers communism propaganda.
Oh
It was
God.
that was fun. That was really good. I said, guys, this is a business that's running right now. You're handing us. We're capitalism cruising down your street. We're doing good. We're enjoying capitalism right now. That was a fun moment. I don't know why more doesn't stick in my head. I think just the last couple of weeks have fried my brain.
Yeah.
I'm really thankful to be here. I was on a mountain thinking about you guys,
Yeah,
and I thought I'm never coming back to Rhode Island.
We're
So I'm glad. I'm
definitely
excited to do the bus this
We're
weekend.
definitely going to get to some of Brad's stories, but I want to.
Okay, go ahead. Because
No, because
he
I
just said he was on a mountain.
Yeah,
not
I
wanting
know.
To come
He's
back to
trying
Rhode
to-
Island.
he's trying
How
to-
do you not go into that?
He's trying to suck us in so
No,
we
no,
make
I'm
it
not.
about him.
I'm sucked
but
in.
I
I'm
want
sucked
listen.
in.
I asked Mike to come on because
Yes,
I
go
wanted
ahead.
him to be able to talk about the bus because when the day I did it, you were telling me about some of your future plans and stuff like that. So I think that I want to kind of tell the audience about what some of the. So right now it's one bus running through Providence.
Yep, we run through Providence, and then we're working on building a second bus at the moment that we're going to launch in Newport. So
That's awesome.
That's going to be awesome.
That'll be
Yeah, think about it.
That's
You'll,
gonna be
you'll
awesome.
pack that in the summertime.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pack that in
But
the
like
summertime.
you were saying, not just nighttime. Like that could be a daytime thing
Daytime
every
during
2
the week.
hours,
Yeah.
And if you I'm trying to think, isn't there's a brewery right down in Newport too.
there is.
I can't remember
that's,
the name
That's
of it.
one of the steps we're working on right now.
Yeah.
Is just trying to finalize that route.
Hooking up with a brewery.
We learned a lot in doing the Providence experience where we kind of fine-tuned the route, and Brad knows we've changed it all along the way to kind of get to
It was
where
a
we're
learning
at.
process.
Yeah.
Sure. The first ride was nuts.
Well, because-
I didn't really know Mike.
Right. Well, and because you're trying to figure out like what are some points of interest that we should go to, that we should see. Like you're starting on Allen's Avenue. If you're not mentioning the strip club capital of Rhode Island,
That's the joke every time.
Yeah,
it's
of
so
course.
easy. It's like softball.
Yeah,
it's a layup.
but then once you get into the city and you're going through the east side, there's so many different places you could go. Then you're going up through Federal Hill, the west side. So it's it is. I think it was a good representation of Providence,
Right.
of everywhere. Like I think I said something about, oh yeah, we're going by Union Station. Used to be a train station, now it's a brewery.
Right.
And just stupid little historical things. But
It's-
I think in Newport that could be amazing.
Yeah.
because there's so many different places that.
Yeah, I
you
got to
could go.
start Wikipedia Newport pretty soon. I'm just just getting by with the Providence. I don't know shit
right.
about Newport.
Yeah. This is Fort Adams. It's a big rock on an island.
I'm just gonna be like, these people are rich. They have boats. They wear salmon clothes. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, like I gotta learn about Newport.
Yeah,
This
right.
is Fort Adams. He started out as a whorehouse
Yeah,
back in 1923.
yeah, right.
George Washington once slept here.
With 40 hookers.
He snorted coke off a hooker's ass here once.
Yeah.
It's been such a learning process, man, from day one.
Yeah.
Because we're starting down Allen's Ave, and I'm like trying to do my first set on there, and I'm like, this in my head. I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now?
Yeah.
you could see everybody's faces, and they're just looking at me.
They're
like,
looking at you,
I don't
waiting
really
for you
know
to talk.
Mike.
Yeah.
And wow, it's
So-
wild.
so,
But
yeah,
as I kept going, I'm like, oh, this is fucking cool. But
Right.
at first, it was like, how the hell are we going to
Did
do
I
this?
get
I used to
into
tell
this?
Mike when he gave me the idea, I was like, I think we can do it.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
So that's what I wanted
then
to
it's gotten
find.
smoother over time. You know?
That's what I want to find out. How did you two get hooked up? Like, how did you meet Brad?
Yeah, so I had a friend who was good friends with someone who works at the Connection.
Okay.
And then we had met and we were talking in passing, and I was like, my wife and I would go to shows and like scout different comedians, talk to them. But I asked him, I said, in your opinion, like who do you think would be a good fit for this style of comedy? Because I know that's
It's not for
it's
everyone,
a very
yeah.
niche thing. And then he said Brad, and I said, all right.
And that was Ben, right?
That was Ben. Yep.
Yeah.
Which I'm appreciative for that for sure.
Me too.
So-
I thank him all the time.
Yeah.
He's a good
Yeah.
kid.
He's awesome. He's awesome. So Brad and I ended up sitting down at a coffee shop, and Brad was the first one I sat down with, and he was excited about the idea.
Yeah.
And that was so important to me because I had at the time put in like 2 years of work to get to where we were,
Researching it and
Yep,
getting
and just
to
just
a
trying
certain
to figure
point.
it out. So I wanted someone that was excited about the idea, and Brad was, man. And I'm super appreciative for that because without him, I wouldn't be able to do it because
Yeah.
I didn't realize exactly what I was getting myself into.
I was surprised too how prepared the dude was.
Yeah.
So like when we sat down, I thought, oh, this guy just has an idea. He's like,
well,
let
because
me
you're
go
used
show
to
you the-
hanging. You're used to hanging with Mike Murray.
Yeah, Mike's like,
he's
here's
got
what
a
we're
great
gonna do.
idea every
We're gonna-
3 seconds.
It's called
but the-
comedy rocket. We shoot a rocket to the moon.
I'm gonna
I'll
get
show-
a Batmobile and turn it into a hot dog.
Sell it to
car.
hot.
Listen, we do a 14-hour set because it's 93 million miles to the sun, and then we turn around, we loop around the sun,
you
and then
Cook
you have
the hot
another one.
dogs on
Mike,
the sun.
Yeah, you cook the hot dogs on the back of the rocket.
Mike, you can't go to the sun. You'll burn up. No, we're gonna go at night.
No, listen, yeah, listen. Sake of conversation. Hear me out.
We're gonna go at
Yeah, no, because that's the thing. Mike is such a great idea person, but he has no idea how to plan and execute
the
stuff.
idea is an inch thick.
Yeah.
I met with Mike over here.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, let me show you the bus. I'm like,
You already
the
have
fucking
a bus?
is
Yeah,
like ready
right.
to go.
Right.
I thought this guy just had this idea.
Yeah.
He had it. like,
'Cause you're
a
used to
lot.
Mike Murray and the hot dog
and in
cart.
And in general, I'm just
the
not.
Batmobile hot dog
And,
cart.
and his sequined vest from Magic.
Let's be honest. Most people, especially with an idea this unique,
Yeah.
they're not.
It's an
gonna be-
idea. They're not. It's not
yeah.
fully formed.
I was very
you know.
impressed with like how much time and effort and money had gone into it already.
So that's my question. Did you have a business background? Had you done other businesses before, or currently? And this added to it.
So I've always like had an entrepreneur mindset.
Yep.
I had an entertainment company when I was younger that
Okay.
I ran. So that was probably my first venture. I've always been in real estate, so that's kind of you're kind of working for yourself.
And
at
now
that
Right.
he's in rolling real estate.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So and then my wife as well. She runs a luxury events and picnic company.
Yep.
So we both had that mindset, and so it kind of helped in putting this idea to life.
Right. Right.
But it's funny how the bus came to be because we had the idea in January of 2020. We came home.
Good timing.
yeah. Right. Yeah. I got a great idea.
So I said,
Here's a pandemic.
So I said, I'm tired of talking about things. Let's put it into motion. So we went on Craigslist. We purchased a bus, and we're like, all right, we'll start renovating it. A month later, COVID hits.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like,
Now you got plenty of time to renovate it.
I'm like,
but no money.
We can't put people on a bus.
Right. Yeah.
Like, you can't put people side by side. And at that point, nobody knew what was going to happen. So we held on to the bus. We stored it for a little while, and then come 2021, we were like, all right,
Things are opening up.
Things are opening
Yeah.
up. Like let's see if we can make this a reality. And then by the time I had met Brad, it was coming along, and that was the last piece of the puzzle.
That's
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a really fun adventure, and like the beginning especially, definitely ups and downs because you just don't know. Like at first I'm like, yeah, this will be wicked fun, and then I was like talking to my wife one day. I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna work.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, the other thing is too is just like I've DJed and stuff for a long time. I've done comedy for a while. I met a lot of like business owners and bookers, and let's face it, honestly, you guys know how it is. Most people aren't very professional. Most people
No.
are not hard workers.
Yeah.
So I was like, I in the beginning I was like, I'd be excited 1 minute and I had my doubts the next minute, but within a month I'm like, this guy is a hustler.
Yeah.
Like this guy's not half-assing this shit. Like he's all in.
Right.
And the more that I saw how committed he was, or even stuff I would like kind of run ideas by him or give him feedback how open he was to that, I'm
Yeah.
like, holy shit, this could actually be huge.
Right.
Because I start, you know what I mean? You start to see this guy really actually is not just willy-nilly going into this.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that's what makes a
he's
big
taking,
difference.
and especially taking feedback, because that's an important thing, you know, especially when you're starting a
shocked
business.
by that.
No matter how entrepreneurial you are, you still need to take feedback from people who know a little bit more about an
Yeah, we all
aspect
do.
of your business.
Right.
Like
We all have to do that.
you know your business, but you didn't know comedy. You didn't know how which comics are going to work. This is not going to work for everyone, and I'm sure you've had people on it that it didn't work for.
And that's one of the things
Comics,
you did
I mean,
right,
it's tough.
Mike, in the beginning, is you recognize that you can't just put any comic in that situation.
It's tricky.
You need to have the right comics, because we work with a lot of different comics, all of us.
Yeah, and that's not to shit on any comics.
No, some of the
It's
best
just-
ever.
it's-
You wouldn't
it's-
put Mitch Hedberg on that thing.
No,
and he's
no.
one of the greatest comics of all time.
Right.
It's just it's
because
just styles.
every comic is very good in the right situation.
Yeah.
You know, there are some comics that are great in in theaters, and others that are great in comedy clubs, and some are going to be great on the bus, and some are not.
Right.
So you need to pick the right comics for the right situation. And you started with a comic that's good in that situation, and he's going to recognize other people that are good in that situation.
Right.
So
Exactly.
you partnered with somebody that fits and that can help you find the right people. So you were smart right in the beginning to recognize that.
Yeah.
And start with that, because that, the first couple of tours that you did, the first couple outings that you did, if you didn't have the right comics,
The first few was just me.
just drive
It was
that bus
perfect.
off a cliff and collect the
I
insurance
was just
money,
trying to-
because it's over at that point if you don't have the right people.
Right.
Because if the crowds aren't entertained, forget it. It's over.
Yeah.
Right.
It's over.
And I think that's so important. Any business you do really is like recognizing what you're not good at, and
Right.
putting
And-
those people
and
in place.
partnering yourself with
Right.
people that complement your strengths and weaknesses.
Exactly, and for me
Exactly.
that was Brad.
That was
And-
Brad.
and he has that network, and he books the perfect people for it, like
Right.
like yourself, and
Well
it's
said.
just awesome.
Yeah.
There's a reason I put like Murray on Sundays because he's deaf. So when it gets rowdy at night and stuff like that, I'm not saying
Yeah.
he can't handle it. Mike's obviously a seasoned vet,
Right,
But
but
when
he
you're
may
deaf,
not-
it's a
yeah.
lot harder to deal with commotion.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean?
Well,
So why make
well,
it hot? And
especially-
it's dark.
Well, I was just going to say
So-
he needs visuals.
So
Yeah.
in the day,
Because he
they're
can't
more
hear
apt
as
to be
well, so-
listening
right.
to material.
No.
And everything.
Well, and
And
you're-
that's no
Yeah.
slight against Mike.
No,
You're right.
yeah, it's
No, but
just-
Mike
it's just-
Mike will
it's
be
a
the
tough
first
thing.
to admit, even
Yeah.
with the cochlear implants, he still has. He still. I'm sorry.
I love when you
I
do
love
that.
it because he
I
says it
love
like
when
that.
you do that.
Cochlear.
He did that to me on Sunday, by the way. I wasn't expecting it, and I started dying laughing in the front row. It was,
Oh me? Oh,
when you were on the bus, we were sitting next to each
because
other.
I opened. So Mike did the way out,
You did that?
and then I got up. I go, "Hello, my name is Ace Aceto. I was deaf until I was 40 years old. Then I had the cochlear implants put in, and everyone's like,
What are the only books deaf
I go,
comics?
wait, I go, hey, I didn't know the guy was going to steal my fucking act, and then the crowd liked me. So, but no,
He
but,
only books deaf
But Mike, but Mike will say,
It's a deaf comedy bus.
yeah, but
the
Mike,
handicap
Deaf
bus.
comedy jam.
Make it a short bus.
Def Jam.
Hey, just make it a short bus. Put Tyler Hittner on there.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
a
the mini bus.
You only have 4 people on
Yeah.
board.
No, the
Short bus
guys are
comedy
brutal.
tour.
Short bus comedy. No, but what I was gonna say was even Mike will admit with the cochlear implants, he still has trouble hearing when there's a lot of noise
Yes,
around.
yeah.
So
Exactly.
you're right.
Yeah.
If the crowd is rowdy and there's a lot of background noise, it's going to be tough for him to discern what people are saying and stuff. So
And guys that are seasoned just adjust. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Bill Simas, his style in a way doesn't fit because he's a storyteller. However, he's so good.
Right.
He was able to just adjust.
Well, and-
he'd shorten his stories, get to quicker punches, switch to another thing quicker.
Bill's shortened stories and got to quicker punches.
She sure did.
You
On the
need
bus,
to,
he did.
you need to record that
He
set.
absolutely did.
I don't believe you for a second.
He absolutely did.
Because
kidding.
he couldn't tell shitting on a plane in 22 minutes. There's
Right?
no way he even got through that. in
Every
one
bit
ride.
is a special.
No, but but I'm sure it was a little bit challenging for Bill.
Each
I'm
bit
sure-
is a Netflix special for Bill.
I'm
Simon.
sure it was challenging for Bill though, because Bill does so many act outs,
Yeah.
and the bus is bouncing. As great as the drivers are, it's still bouncing.
It's still a bus in Providence.
Yeah,
It's
you
not
go to
smooth
start
roads.
trying to pull down your pants for shitting on a plane, and you're going to knock into
But
the person next to you.
You know what? You should constantly, as a comedian, we need to constantly challenge ourselves.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
a challenge.
And
yeah.
put yourself in a different situation. Make sure you can do material that works and you can adapt. And
Right.
you can do different things. It's only going to make you better, no matter where you are.
No, I
so
agree.
that's not a bad thing. You
Yeah.
got to accept that challenge and step up and do it. And that's why you reached out to me. Unfortunately, I didn't have any dates available. But after I get back from Vegas in April, I definitely want to do
Oh,
it
yeah, we're
because I
gonna get
want
you on
to
there.
accept that challenge. I want to do that.
I'm going to get you on there.
You know who I don't understand? Because I asked you about him. I don't know why Parada.
Because he's
would be-
paranoid.
Parada
He's
would
paranoid.
be
Yes.
so
He is
amazing with that.
I've talked to him about it 5 times.
He is a naturally paranoid person, but he would destroy.
He
that
would kill
bus.
on that
I
bus.
said, dude, you'll
Destroy
kill.
that
I said,
bus.
you will
For
kill
him
on
to
that.
just do a 22-minute set, just making fun of everyone on the
Like,
bus.
I don't know, brother. I don't know,
And him knowing Rhode Island as
You,
well as
sir,
he does.
what do you do? Yeah, hey,
I've told
this
him
was the original New York Systems Hot Wieners.
a couple
I'm
weeks
doing
ago.
a show
I
there
saw
in
him
3
again.
weeks.
This guy over here opened it up in 1923.
Yeah,
Look at
right.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
He would
He would
destroy
kill.
that.
Yeah.
But I think that speaks to what I was saying earlier about like portraying what the experience is for the consumer.
Right.
But it also applies to the comedians that you book and
Yeah.
hire. You
Yeah.
experience
Right.
this. It's like you say it like, hey, we're on a bus, everyone's getting drunk, the windows are open, we stop at a brewery. They're like, I don't really know. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
But until you get there and experience, like maybe you did.
Yeah.
I think
Listen, Mike, I've been
Yeah.
doing this 34 years. This July, I was nervous on the way up there.
right.
I really was.
Because it's a
And-
different situation.
Oh,
than
it's
what
a
we're
different
used to.
ball game.
But as soon as I got done, I was telling Mike, and then I called Brad. I was like, dude, anytime you need me to do that, I am in, because I had such a good time.
That's how Sam
And
was.
now
too.
I
Sam,
underst-
like, same
Right.
situation.
Yeah.
He was like, I thought this was going to suck. This was awesome.
Yeah.
I want to do it again.
And now
Yeah.
I'm already like starting to think of, okay, here's a couple of points of interest that I would point out. Here's instead of trying to do these jokes, I think I would just stick with these jokes. Like, I'm already trying to start building a set
Right.
Yep.
specifically for the bus,
for
a
the bus.
22-minute
Yeah.
set for the
Yeah.
bus
Yeah, it's-
that I know will work every time. Because for me, the impressions are when the,
Oh, yeah.
the audience
That's
love
awesome.
the impressions. So I'll just do
You're gonna
all
do
the impression
impressions
stuff.
now?
Yeah.
You starting to do that stuff?
Yeah, I'm
You should-
starting.
yeah.
It's just-
make the
I just
poor
picked
guy
it up.
the Peter Griffin.
Well, and that's almost what I thought of doing in the first place. Yeah. Welcome to Quahog. I'm your tour guide, Peter Griffin. But that's one of the things that I thought about doing. Instead of doing my Family Guy act, just doing
That would
different
be fucking
points,
funny.
different points of
That-
interest. Yeah, I'm getting a little tired now, so I'm going to have my son Stewie do the rest of the tour.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's the matter, fat man? You can't stand? And then start
you
doing
should have the other
Stewie.
characters interrupting Peter as he's
Right,
trying to describe different places.
Yeah, exactly.
How perfect
would
is
be
that Family
funny.
Guy's from Rhode Island and you're doing a Rhode Island
Exactly.
call?
Right,
That's
Right,
perfect.
You know?
that's what the,
Perfect for you.
Yeah, I could, I'll do
Peter's
Cleveland.
going, so over here is the state capital. Oh, shut up, fat man.
Yeah.
Stop interrupting me, Stuart.
Right, exactly.
Oh, Peter, I don't know if you know this, but South Providence was established in 1848.
Exactly.
Just start fucking
Stop
around.
showing off, Cleveland.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be hilarious.
So it was really a lot of fun, and
all right, I
when
want
you
to do
told
it this
me,
Friday.
yeah, he's bumping me.
I'm canceling my other gig and doing that now.
But when you told me that day about expanding into Newport, I was just like, that is such a great idea.
Right.
Oh, I'm so
because you
excited
think
for
about
Newport.
it, you don't have to do just Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You could run 3 tours a day in Newport every 2 hours.
I'm excited for that.
all throughout the day. you got to get people like Brad who are unemployed. But
you're gonna get bums. You're gonna find some of the losers out there.
Because guys like me who work a real day job aren't going to be able to be there at Monday at noon.
I'll do all of them.
I'll be
You get enough tours going. I'll quit my
thing.
day job.
I think we're gonna have them. I think we're gonna have 'em.
And I will be Brad's assistant on all these bus tours.
Can I get you another drink, Mr. Pierce?
Because I do not like my day job, so I will leave in a second.
Yeah.
I like mine.
And one of the fun things we're doing too is we're adding in different types of experiences. So you may have saw the bus like on our traditional comedy history tour through Providence, but we're going to be adding in brunch tours where you have multiple stops. Food is included at each stop that we go to.
That's a great idea.
And,
Like foodie tours.
Yeah, like and then
That would be cool. Those would be cool tours.
the best part about it is like we can do so many different things with it. So
Right.
Yeah.
and that's the funnest part for me for the private tours is, we can incorporate wherever you want. You want to stop here, you want to stop there, you want the bus
Right.
for 3 hours.
Right.
We can really tailor to whatever the wants and needs of the consumer
of the
are.
group are. Right. That's a great idea,
Yeah.
man.
That's awesome.
And you know what? For this, and listen, I'll be the first to admit, I don't go to Providence anymore that much. I grew up in North Providence. I don't go to Providence.
Right.
I
because
only go
it's-
for the hookers.
because of
Allen's Ave is perfect.
yeah, well, because of the reputation.
Oh, I got to try that.
Because of the reputation over the past 20 years, it's been on the decline, and I think this is something that is reinvigorating the city. You're there, you're enjoying the city, you're getting to see a brewery in the city, you're getting to have a tour, have a fun time. It's something fun to do in Providence again, which
Yeah.
I think is great.
Yeah, I think we were missing that. But
Yeah.
I mean, I've had people come on the bus that have lived in Providence their whole lives, and they're like, "Wow, I didn't even know that was there," or I learned this, that, and the other. So, the fact that we're showcasing the city in such a unique way is awesome.
That's awesome. Did you grow up in Rhode Island?
So I moved here when I was about 9-10 years old from Las Vegas. I was actually born in Las Vegas, but ever since then I've lived here. So this is home for me, and I love everything that Providence has to offer. It's
That's
great.
awesome.
Keeping it local.
No, that's fantastic. It's a great idea.
Can we get to a Brad story, please?
I know.
Dying over here.
I know.
Going,
Well, I wanted
Nothing
to.
against you, Mike.
I feel like I'm gonna let you guys
No,
down.
listen,
Nothing
I-
against you, Mike. I love this idea. I am so glad that you came up with this idea for the comedy bus. I think partnering with Brad is one of the best things that you did because
I
he
agree.
brought a lot. Bringing the right comedians in
Because
everything
Brad
like that.
knows who the right comedians
Yes.
for the bus are.
Yeah,
He's got a good eye for that.
Surprisingly so, because Brad does not pick the right gigs for himself.
No,
so
but he picks the right gigs for other comics.
He did do the governor's ball.
Yeah.
So he doesn't
I
pick.
heard
He
that
doesn't
was
pick the right
so
gigs for
bad.
himself.
Yeah.
So the
So
fact that he's
bad.
picking the right
Gigs
comedians
for you
is phenomenal.
Yeah, it was great.
But I really want to hear
Okay.
a Brad story.
Okay, so
You've
Brad,
been making me wait now for 40
so let's
minutes.
all right. So let's bring the audience around and let them know. So we had Brad on a month and a half ago, and again, 3 days later, I got another story. I got another story for you. Okay.
By the
Then
way,
we're-
before you get too deep, I'll follow up to our friends.
That's what she
Brad
said.
posted the video of him at the governor's
Yes.
ball. So
That was
you
funny.
can find that if you want to, and maybe I'll even put a link to it in
There's a clip from the podcast on there, too,
today's show
Yeah.
notes.
Yeah.
I
Dude,
actually-
that is so great that you put that out there because that is painful.
It was
It was painful
It was
to
one of
watch.
the worst gigs I've ever done, and I've done a lot of bad gigs.
Yeah, we know. We know. We've heard about every one of them.
It was-
Painstaking.
It was
It
actually
was
funny.
up there.
My mother-in-law reached out to me because she saw you at the inauguration of the.
Oh, she
governor.
was there.
Oh, my
she
God.
was there.
No, she saw it on Facebook.
Oh,
She was like, "Wow, Brad is like killing it." And then I listened to the podcast, and I'm just dying. I'm just dying. I was like, he does not enjoy a bit of it.
The picture of me on stage looks so professional.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
So
I know.
people see it, they're
With
like,
your-
"Wow!"
yeah, but wait.
until you see the video.
Until you see, you vote for Pedro's shirt
yes,
and you wore to a
exactly.
governor's inauguration.
I'm like, only Brad would wear that T-shirt. He doesn't even
Maniac.
dress for the occasion.
I
Mike's
know.
like, "You got to dress up." Mike Murray's like, "You got to
Yeah.
dress up." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Fuck that."
Yeah,
You could
right.
have still worn the T-shirt, but throw a sports coat over it
Nah.
or something.
Nah, I'm
Nothing.
good.
Not
You should
Brad.
have done the vote for Pedro dance.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Have the moon boots
little
on and
little
everything.
Jamiroquai.
Moon boots would have been awesome.
You would have got their attention. There.
So
Tater tots in your pocket.
So Brad,
I could go with some tater tots right now. That sounds
I know.
amazing.
Yeah, we gotta. You know what? We'll have to do people have been asking me about the Chef Boyecitos, and I haven't done one in a while. But maybe we'll do
combine
another.
Ace is an excellent chef.
Yes,
Another
he
one.
is.
Yeah, thank you. Don't give Mike any ideas. I'll be cooking on the goddamn bus now. He'll be making. I got a great idea.
I'm open that night.
Ace is gonna make omelets. We're gonna do omelet station on the bus for mornings. It'll be a brunch. The comedy bus brunch.
Comedy bus with
With
Chef Boyacito.
Boyacito. Yeah. No, don't give him any ideas. No, but Brad, since you were on a whole month and a half ago, we've gotten at least 3 text messages on a group text of Brad going, I got another story for the podcast.
I need to get on this group text.
To the point where, we're actually considering having a monthly segment of what's Brad been up to?
What's up with Brad?
What's up with Brad?
I really wish I could remember all of them.
Well,
But I'll
there
tell you
were
one thing. I was
3
thinking
that you
about you
said-
guys on the mountain. Yeah, so the first one, remember I did keywords? I did like keywords to remember. The first one was basketball.
Yes.
So we'll start with that.
Okay.
So I was doing, and this isn't nothing too crazy. It was cool experience. Man, I get into these stories and I start talking and I'm like, what can I say and not say?
Just say.
So anyways,
Just
all right,
say.
so
as Mike Murray says, you say.
you say. Now I don't. So I did this show for Anthony Smith at the Comedy Park.
Yep.
That afternoon, Ed Brady texted me. He's like, hey, heads up. Lamar Odom's going to be at your show tonight. And I was
saw
like,
the video.
I was like, all right, cool.
For those of you that are not basketball fans,
Lamar Odom.
he played for URI.
Kind of a big deal.
And played in the NBA, eventually playing for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Won a couple
Yeah.
championships.
Has a couple championship rings in the NBA.
And
Married a Kardashian.
I was just going to say, kind of big. Married a Kardashian, had
kind
a
of
kid.
a big deal.
Right?
Kind of a big deal.
So I put my Celtics shirt
I
on.
believe Khloe Kardashian was his wife.
It was Chloe. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Chloe.
Whoever the least attractive one is, I always forget their names.
Least attractive one.
So I was like, all right, cool. So I put on my Celtics sweatshirt and I'm like, all right, let's do this. So I get to the show. During my set, I made a couple cracks at him because this girl that was kind of circling around him seemed like a groupie. So I was making some jokes about that, poke fun at him a little bit. Pretty early in my set, this guy comes walking off, like up to the front row, and he's kind of talking. He's got a hat on. He's like a very lank, skinny black dude with a hat. So at first, I think I called him like Dave Chappelle or something like that. And he just was talking a lot of talking. So now I'm kind of making fun of this guy and everything like that. And there's a lot of back and forth. So now I'm talking with him. I'm busting balls with Lamar Odom, Well, eventually, because this guy seems a little nuts, I called him Tyrone Biggums. So I called him Tyrone Biggums.
Yeah,
And
again,
if you don't know who that is, you have to Google that because I'm not explaining who that is.
So I get off.
That's my favorite reference so far.
I get off stage, and who is the final comic? Tyrone Biggums. I didn't know he was a comic on the show.
The guy.
So it really was Tyrone Biggums that you made fun of?
The guy I made fun of was on the fucking show.
Yeah.
His name's not Tyrone Biggums,
Oh,
obviously.
I thought you meant...
Turns out he's a famous basketball player from the And One mixtape scene and like one of the greatest like slam dunkers ever. I had no
Really?
idea. Wow. I thought it was just some crazy dude.
Yep.
So turns out he was on the fucking show. When I got to my seat,
Fucking Kuz couldn't tell you that?
when I got to my seat, I texted you guys when he got up on stage. I'm like, this fucking guy's on the show? The guy I just called Tyrone Biggums was on the show. I texted you guys at that moment and said, oh, I got another story for you. And he was nuts. Absolutely nuts.
My God.
He, no material.
Just
Off
winging
the
cuff, made
crazy,
everyone laugh, right?
Absolutely bananas, the guy, but the nicest guy. And Lamar Odom was like the nicest dude. I talked to him afterwards. I'm like, how could this guy be nice? He played in the Lakers and he married a Kardashian. He's going to be a douche. But
Yeah.
he turns out he's a sweet dude.
One of the nicest guys.
He was a wicked cool dude. that was a cool story. And yeah, I posted the clip of me calling that dude Tyrone Biggums. But man, his name escapes me right now, but he's like a big basketball player again from the N1 mixtape. Anybody remembers those? I used to watch those with my neighbor. Anyways, it was like street ball, like a lot of tricks and stuff. It was like a cooler version of the Harlem Globetrotters.
I was just gonna say like Harlem Globetrotters.
They did a whole series on Netflix about.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. I gotta check that out. Good. He's probably on that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he's probably one of the players they talk about.
His name will come to me, but so that was cool. The second story was, and I texted you guys this night too. So I do a weekly show at the Providence G Pub, and it's horrible. So bad. It's just so bad.
We've heard.
Can I ask you
We've
a question?
heard, which is why we haven't gone.
Why do you keep doing it?
Because A, I don't have a day job, and B, I'd rather do a bad show than have to do another karaoke night.
Okay.
1 hour of a train wreck. 1 hour train wreck show is so much better than a 4 hour dive bar karaoke.
Yeah.
No,
that makes sense.
So
fair answer.
So the problem is just see Mike. I hooked Mike Murray up with the Plymouth G Pub. They have their own private room, so it's a pretty cool show. Providence doesn't have a private room, so you're performing for a lot of people who don't know this comedy, whatever. So I get to, and I'm hoping once in a while it's a decent night, and I'm like maybe this will turn into something, and I still have hopes for it, but it's tough because a lot of times there's people in there who don't know.
Right.
It's a great venue, but it's just a lot of times they don't know.
What night is it?
Tuesday.
Okay.
It's a free show, and it's not a ticketed show.
Mondays and Tuesdays are tough.
And it's not a ticketed show.
Yeah. You want to crash it sometime?
Yeah, sure.
You guys should.
You and I?
come.
Yeah, sure.
It's not a ticketed show.
Okay.
So you can't really ask people like be
go, Mike?
quiet,
Right,
all that, because they didn't pay to be there.
Yeah.
So
Mike, you want to go? Ace and I are going to crash it.
We'll take the bus.
Mike, what's your understanding of it? Because you've been to it a couple times.
I have been to it.
How would you describe it?
It kind of has a feel of like an open mic almost.
Yeah.
But people aren't there for the open mic.
Right, exactly, yeah.
It's like an open mic, but worse.
But worse, because they're not there for comedy.
And before you continue with the story, Ace and I, in season 2 of this podcast, we had a couple of guys in, Mike McCarthy and John Parada, 2 very experienced comics. And we decided to come up with a list as comedians where we know when you walk into a room, if you come up with any of these conditions, we know it's going to be a bad gig.
Right.
And the name of the episode was "You Know It's a Bad Gig When." And we wanted the top 10
That's
things.
pretty much my whole career right there. Can be summed up.
And we now call it the Brad.
so we can hear you.
We now call it the Brad Pierce episode. No, we don't. No, we don't. Yeah. We wanted the top 10 things, but we couldn't narrow it down to 10. We came up with 12 things. And one of the things that made the list was the surprise show. When the people at the venue,
didn't know.
Most of the time it's a bar, don't know there's going to be a show that night.
Right.
They're just the regulars at the bar. The people at the place show up. Oh, by the way, we're going to have comedy tonight.
Right.
None of them are there to watch a show.
And you can't tell them to be quiet because they're
my every
regulars.
Tuesday.
They're,
That's my
they're,
every
they're,
regulars.
they're the people that are there to hang out and drink. They do not want to watch a show, and it's just going to be a train wreck.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what this sounds like.
Hey, can I cut in because someone kind of famous,
Elvis?
No, the comic that you said looked like an old basketball player. Is that what you said? Tyrone Biggums. No.
The guy I called Tyrone Biggums?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you say he looked like a?
He wasn't old.
No, he used to play basketball for real. I called him Tyrone
okay.
Biggums.
Okay.
But
there was someone you said I can't remember his name.
Yes, him. The guy. The dude I
actual
called
comic.
Tyrone Biggums. I can't think of his actual name.
Because
his
Tony
name.
Bristol, I don't know where this came from. He said Dave Baker. Nice setup. I don't know. Did someone mention Dave Baker?
No, it wasn't Dave Baker.
I don't know who Dave Baker is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no.
But Tony Bristol was like a famous DJ on 92 Pro FM when we were all growing up. But I don't know what Tony meant because I read it too late. I'm sorry, Tony.
Tony, thanks for tuning in, but unfortunately it was not Dave Baker.
No.
I know who Dave Baker is, but that's not who he's talking about.
Dave Baker sounds like a very nice point guard for like a Narragansett high school basketball team.
No, that's
Vin Giacavone Jr. saying Tavoris Bell. I don't know what that means either.
That's who it is.
Is that who
Tavoris
it is?
Bell.
Oh.
Thank you, Vin Giacavone. It is. Yes, it's Tavoris Bell.
Who is Tavoris
for the
Bell?
win. Thank you, Vinny.
He was the guy I called Tyrone Biggums.
Oh,
he was the
he
guy
was
that was
the
on
actual
the show.
guy.
And he was
Okay.
friends. He was Lamar's friend. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
and he's
thank
an
you.
actual comic.
He played on the no. Well, he was a basketball player,
Right.
and
I'm
now
getting
he's
confused.
doing comedy.
Look at me. I'm 5'6". I don't know fucking
I
basketball
called him
players.
Tyrone
Okay,
Biggums.
people.
So the
right.
G Pub.
Anyway.
So we're at the
Yes.
G Pub.
You're at
So
the
I,
G Pub.
I did it for a year, 2019, pandemic, I've been back at the G Pub for a little bit. And every week is unpredictable, often very slow, and often people are confused. Sometimes we get lucky, it's the people there for the show, and it's great. Mm-hmm. Okay, a few
Does
weeks
the
ago.
G Pub promote that there's going to be a comedy show on Tuesday night?
Yes.
Okay.
So a few, whatever it is, I text you a month ago or whatever.
I don't know. I've
We
gotten
show
texts
up.
from you every other week lately.
I get there, and it's me and Don Zolo.
Okay.
And you would think, in a situation like this, if
Zolo
this-
is the only person in 2023 that still calls a woman abroad.
this,
I love that guy.
and that's probably the
I
least,
fucking
and that's
love
probably
it.
the least
Love
offensive
Don
thing he
Zolo.
says.
Thing that he
So
says on, yeah.
I would think in this story, Don Zolo would be the person that got in trouble.
No.
How did he get away unscathed? It's because I have a fucking target on my back. I
It was
swear.
you. No, you have a black cloud over you.
So we get there, and there's like 50 people there, and we're like, what the hell is this? Well, there's a private event for like their restaurant, whatever party or whatever. They don't know this comedy. So I'd rather have 5 people who didn't know there was
Who
comedy
didn't know?
than
Then
50
yeah, right.
drunk
Who
people
were
who
there
don't know
for
there's
a party,
comedy. So
not for
it's-
the comedy show.
We walk in and we're like, this is gonna suck. This
Yeah.
is chaos. Fortunately, the majority of that group is in the back, so they're pretty far away from where we set up.
Yep.
So like, all right, we're gonna just power through this.
Yep.
Try to ignore that huge group of people and crank it out. So luckily there was 2 tables up near where we were, and we were focused. Like, we're gonna perform for these 2 tables. We're gonna power through this hour, and we're getting the hell out of here.
Yep.
So I do my set, and it's a train wreck. But considering the environment,
Yeah.
didn't go that bad. Considering Don gets up, he's doing his thing. I'm at the bar waiting for Don, and these 2 people walk by me. One of them is a very large human being,
Portly.
a large person.
It's called executive nowadays.
Oh, is it?
Is that a thing?
Yes.
I always think of the quote from Seinfeld, the executive.
Because 40 years ago, they used to call suits portly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now those suits are called executive.
Executive.
Oh, okay. But you're not calling a large person an executive.
No, I'm calling them fat.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, anyway, a
So
fat
if
guy
I-
comes by.
I didn't say
Oh, it wasn't
guy.
a guy.
I said a person.
All right.
Okay.
He's going to
They-
take a... Wait.
They slash
They,
them.
He's going to
So,
take a drink for this.
A large person. The friend of the large person says, "You're funnier than these comics." Now, this is when they're walking right by me, and the large person points at me and goes, "I'm way funnier than you." And I was like, "All right." And so
I would have been like, do you want a spot?
we'll get to that. So so they walk by. Don finishes his set. He said probably 75 politically incorrect things up there. Somehow nobody seemed
love
to
He had a
mind
slow
that.
night.
Yeah, it was a slow
Some-
night. It was a Tuesday.
somehow-
It was an off night for
It was a
Don.
Tuesday.
Somehow he gets by. He's like making fun of every
Don hasn't been on the
sexual
bus yet,
orientation. Don's like, whatever. He's like, I can't believe we let women vote.
Oh, yeah.
We should
Oh, yeah.
kill all Democrats
Oh,
or whatever
yeah.
the hell
Oh,
he's saying up there. He's
so fucking
leading
nuts.
the march to January
He's just
6th.
reading
again.
his tweets.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Don's like, hey, let's all storm the Capitol building or whatever the hell he's saying up there. And nobody seems to mind at all what he's saying up there. So he gets off stage, he waves his MAGA flag and sits back down. I go up there, and as I'm doing my closing tip your bartender, we do this every week shit, I said, Don, can you believe this? Someone walked by during your set and said to me, I'm funnier than you, and they're funnier than the comics. Isn't that funny? I said to Don. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, I look over, and the person kind of comes out of the swarm of people in the back and starts yelling, I am funnier than you. And I said, how much did you pay to come to get to the show tonight? And she said, well, no, sorry. The person said $0. And I said, well, you get what you pay for. Who'd you expect, Chappelle? I said, we'll
Right.
give you a rebate on your way out.
Yeah.
And then the person kept yelling, and I said, I'm being heckled by a creature from Star Wars, which they didn't like very much.
Because you meant Jabba the Hutt, of course.
It's a very hard to figure out what planet this person came from. But anyway, so that kind of went back and forth. Like, and part of me wanted to be like, okay, you're so funny. Come up here and do 5 minutes.
Yep.
But this person is batshit crazy. It's my equipment and my microphone.
Yeah.
And
you don't want them to fuck around with it.
Yeah, I want this to go
Plus,
away.
they're part of the group that's there.
I think that person's girlfriend or partner was part of that. But there's no way this person has a job.
Oh, yeah.
This person reminds me of somebody who eats Taco Bell for breakfast. That's the kind of vibe I get.
No, the reason why I said that was because that's the gamble, is if they're part of that group, everyone's going to think they're funny for 5 minutes because they're going to talk about shop and stuff like that.
So I'm like, let's just make this stop. And so I wrap up, I'm packing up my gear to leave, and the freaking person comes back, gets in my face now.
Yeah, because they've been drinking since 2.
I'm like, whoa, dude, what is all the hostility? I'm just saying I'm funny than you. I said, I don't think you're funny. I'm like, that's fine. Go home and write a book about it. I don't know what to tell you. You know, life's full of disappointments.
Yeah.
And now they're like basically threatening me, like, because they're like, Brad Pierce, I have your name. Like they're gonna show up and fucking stab me in my sleep or something like that. So that night I texted you guys and say, hey, I got another story for you. I just got attacked by a
I was wondering why
person.
you wanted security on the bus.
Yeah, no shit. That person just booked the whole bus for St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, well, that's about all.
Maybe you should be busy Friday.
Yeah, maybe I am.
That's about all those wheels can handle. So that was one of the stories, was getting. You know what the funny thing is, that of all the shit I talk, I hadn't said anything to this person. There was no crowd
you didn't
work
instigate
or
it for
anything.
once.
Isn't that crazy?
Brad, no, it's not crazy. It's called karma.
It's karma. Exactly. I was just thinking of that.
That's called karma.
Still
Now,
undetermined what the creature's background was.
But
the creature.
But Brad, you know, you practice a very dangerous form of comedy.
Yes.
Because you live on the edge, because a lot of comedians have prepared material, so they kind of know what they're getting into each time. You like to live on the edge with going into the crowd each time, which you make it very funny. And that's a brilliant form of comedy. Don't get me wrong. I love watching you because you never know what you're going to get, and you find a way to make it funny, which is a great talent.
It's also going to lead to my death, but
you might get stabbed in the
I thought
alley
I was going to
after a
die in
show.
Washington. Honestly,
no. Don't get me wrong, because you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Type of thing. So there are going to be times where there's going to be some people that are not going to be too happy.
The
with
irony, though, I could see if I was like making fun of how gigantic the person was. Nothing.
Right,
I mean, I did
they
call
would
him a creature
just-
from Star Wars, but that was after.
Right, after
was
they
yelling at me.
instigated you
But-
first.
But that's the times that we live in,
Yeah.
is that there are going to be times where you go at people hard and they're just going to laugh their ass off.
Right.
And the least little thing is going to set somebody
is what
ablaze.
triggers someone off, right?
That's the
That's
world
crazy.
we live in nowadays. It's weird
Right.
because nothing is going to be the trigger.
Yeah.
Right.
You just never know. Last night I was at a show. I did the G Pub last night. Providence was canceled. I did the G
Plymouth.
Pub Plymouth with Murray.
Yeah.
Small audience, but the cool thing is they got a private room there, so it's cool.
So people are
And
there for the comedy.
I went after this this girl covered in tattoos, face piercings, and everything. I had asked her if she was dating anybody. She said she was in some poly something. I can't even remember to say the word because I don't know.
Polyamorous?
Thank you.
Polyamorous. Yeah.
And I said, I don't know.
That
You don't
means
look
they love
woman, so I
everything.
think that means you just bang everybody, right? And then didn't even get. I said. And then she was like, "Yeah, like whatever, like I'm in love with the person, but that doesn't affect me doing basically banging everybody." I said,
Right.
"Yeah, my wife doesn't go for that." And then she's like, "I'll introduce your wife." Like she wanted to bang my wife, and we're having all this back and forth. And you know what? Nothing came of it.
Right.
She didn't
It
get
was just
offended.
fun. Right,
Nothing.
right.
We leave the show. Done. No
right.
problems. Nobody
Yeah.
tried to kill me.
Why can't that happen at every
yeah,
show?
like why do
right?
I have to be attacked? So, anyways,
I feel attacked. So what was the third one?
The third one was, so last week I went to Washington
Yes.
State. Washington State.
I heard part of this story
And
from
the
Murray.
first- I
don't know
Dude,
this
you're not going to believe what happened to Brad.
the first night.
I like when you tell me better than he does.
Listen.
Can you pass the booze, please?
Yeah, and by the way,
Wow, he needs a
by the
shot
way,
first.
we have officially broken into the, what does this say on the front? The silver.
Horse soldier.
No.
Oh.
What is it? Premium?
Forged in fire. Forged in fire reserve.
Oh, this is a different one.
We have
it's
officially hit
I was
reserve.
wondering why no one was touching it.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for it.
But if you notice, it's darker than the other one, so it's probably got a richer taste. So, which is why I'm drinking this fast, because I want to try some of that.
So we broke into that as he tells the Lamar Odom
and
story.
that's the most expensive. We started least expensive like 4 weeks ago, and we're moving our way up. And eventually that'll be gone too. And then
don't keep that down your end.
Yeah.
All right. So
All right. So
I booked 3 shows in Washington State.
Nice presentation.
Okay.
3 different areas. Okay, like pretty far away from each other and very different, which is cool because I did.
You having flashbacks?
I did. Well, I did. The problem is, here's what happens.
PTSD.
he's gonna jump on the floor in a
Here's
second.
what, here's
like he's
what
jumping
happens.
on a grenade.
The thing what happens when every time I do this podcast, Mike, things will pop in my head
that you
and
want to say,
and I have to think.
We
for
just
a
kind of let
second.
him go.
is this going to get me
Wait
in
till
trouble?
the episode without me, please.
Yeah.
I don't need that.
There's the name of tonight's episode. Wait to the episode without me.
Yeah, right.
Prior to Washington,
Next episode.
Yes.
I did a couple shows in New York.
Yes.
They were great. That's all.
Okay.
Another episode.
Yeah.
All right. So
What I don't understand is
I booked 3 shows
why?
in Washington State.
That's my question. Why?
Why what?
Who gives a fuck about Washington State?
Oh, so remember last time I told you I did.
No offense if anyone's listening in Washington State, but for one of us from New England to go all the way to Washington State for 3 shows that are 4,000 miles apart,
Yeah.
why?
I don't know because I'm a strange guy.
What do you want to? You think you're going to get famous in Washington State?
Especially when
with the fucking loggers.
Remember what you just
The
said.
coffee house tour in Portland.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember what you just said.
We
about
just
me
had
getting
Tyler
famous.
Bowe on last week from Oregon, and
Yeah.
if it was up to him, he'd probably get the hell out of there too.
Remember what you just said about are you
Okay.
going to get famous out there? So,
Okay.
all right. But to answer your question, why, even though I know you're just giving me shit, is
Because we love you.
when I was in Vegas, I worked with Brett after the show.
Brett Ernst.
Right.
Yep.
After the show, I was hanging out with him, my friend, and his friend, Simon Kaufman. We hung out 2 nights, and we're shooting the shit. We stayed in touch since Vegas. He said, hey, you want to come and do a few shows out here? Now, my brother lived out there for 15 years out in Washington. So I have some friends there. So I said, you know what? I'll go do a few shows out there because I'm going to go visit my friend David. He's one of my brother's best friends from the 15 years he lived out there. He's come out here to visit here. I said, you know what? I'll go visit him. I don't have to rent a car. The guy was providing me with hotel rooms.
Yep.
I don't got to rent a car. I don't get a hotel rooms. I'll use Southwest points, and I'll get paid for some shows. I'll try to sell some shirts, whatever.
Right.
So it's not like I'm just going out there willy-nilly. Like I know some people out there.
Right.
And I was like, I'll network with this guy. You know what I mean? I didn't know the first show was in literally the smallest town. It's got to be on Earth or something because you said famous.
North Dakota is more populated than this place.
100%. We're driving to the first show. The town's called Rockport, Washington. And we pull into this town. I have a video of it.
This is
And
the
it's
video you sent me.
it's less populated than Ace's neighborhood. So I'm like, yes, I'm gonna get famous. I'm gonna get famous out here. So I'm like, talk about a place I could get killed. Like this, the closest police station is hundreds of miles away.
Right.
Like if things go sideways, I
Right.
don't know what. I'm gonna get killed by mountain people.
You're screwed.
So
Sounds like a documentary.
Right?
yeah. So
It's a Netflix
Brad Pierce
documentary.
killed by
Comedian
mountain
killed
people.
on the road.
Yeah.
So there's probably 30, 35 people in the audience, which in this room is not bad because it's a small bar.
Right.
I'm about to
That's the
do.
entire population of the town of
Yeah,
Rockport.
right. The whole town came out to see you. You are famous.
Ooh, I gotta get some ice.
The only hall was the church in Rockport.
So, yeah, I know I gotta get some ice. But holy moly, it is good. But wow, it hits you.
Awesome.
I don't know how I'm gonna do karaoke because I'm gonna be hammered by the time I get there. So
Hey, this
Duran Duran.
This next song is who gives a fuck? Just
I get
sing
to,
it.
I get to Rockport.
Just sing it,
Tears for
Brit.
Fears is next.
No, just sing it, Brittany. I'm sorry. Go
Get to
ahead.
Rockport.
Yes.
We're at the bar / restaurant / community center. It's like the only fucking building. It's
Community center.
It's everything.
Sounds like Bo New
Yeah,
Hampshire.
they did it. Yeah, Bo, New Hampshire. Yeah. They had Zumba classes right before the fucking show.
Up next is bingo.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be a big night on Tuesday.
Downward
Zumba,
Dog, and then I-57.
Zumba, followed by comedy, followed by bingo. It's a big Tuesday night
So we get
in
there.
Rockport, Washington.
I
I'm
play
sorry,
pool
go
with a
ahead.
guy with one eye to start things off. And so
Well,
we
at least
play a
they can
one-eye
aim
pool.
good.
I got nothing for that.
I do.
You play.
Depends on which eye.
I said if he had two eyes, he would have beat me both games, but I beat him once. I told him that. Anyways, so
Of course you did.
I did. So, dude, it's 20 minutes or a half hour before showtime. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally. Let's put it this way. On the way to the show, I said to my friend who lives in Washington, "What's the population of Rockport?" He goes, "I'm pretty sure it's 200."
You fucking went cross country for a town of 200.
There's more people
Listen.
in Pasco, Rhode Island.
No shit.
So now listen. So now there's again 3 shows. The biggest show, the fucking beautiful place, was the second night. This was the smallest first night. That's relevant for later. He goes, "I think 200." I'm like, 200 people, the whole fucking town. Yes. Half hour before the show, my friend, now again, I'm in the middle of nowhere. I don't know anybody except him, looks at me and goes, "Oh no, I don't feel good."
Shit.
Runs outside, throws up, comes back. Dude, I got to throw up again. Runs outside. He cannot stop throwing up. He's like, "I have to get out of here. I can't stop throwing up." Mm-hmm. Leaves and goes to the Airbnb they gave us, which is the bartender's house. Dead serious.
Yeah.
Leaves. He's gone. I'm at this bar.
It's an Airbnb and he's charging you to stay there, but he's still staying there because he lives there.
He's gone. He's puking.
You need a blanket. Oh,
Brad's
man.
got his coat on.
Yeah, right.
So he's puking and gone. Literally
Yep.
left. Show's about to stop. My phone.
How many people in the audience at this
30,
point?
35. Something like that.
All right.
Which isn't bad because it's a
It's
small
packed.
bar. Because people came from another town.
That's a third of
That's
the town.
15% of the town.
The guy with the eye drove an hour to be there with his wife.
No.
Dead serious.
And you
'Cause-
beat him.
Well,
in the
he
pool.
only lives 2 miles away,
Beat him
but he
one
only
game
has
pool.
one eye, so it
Couldn't
took
let
him
him win the
one.
one game of pool.
No.
So-
Keep talking because, oh my
so-
God, this is just getting worse by the
So,
minute.
dude, my friend's puking. I'm about to go on stage. My phone is blowing up. I got a guy covering for me in Smithfield Karaoke Night, which is the busiest night and the week 1 of the contest.
Across the country.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Dude, your computer won't turn on." He's like, "I can't get the computer to turn on. Everyone's waiting. Everyone's looking at me." Ed Brady starts texting me, "Dude, what the fuck? There's 200 people here. I'm about to go up on the mountain show. My friend's puking somewhere." And I got all
and your
these texts
computer's
telling
not
me
working
your
back
shit's not
home.
working. I'm trying to tell Comic, "Can you bring my old computer, which isn't very good, and it's a half hour away." Anyways, I'm stressed out of my mind. I go up there, I make fun of their town for a straight half hour, and then the
Was
owner
it
had
just
to take me.
you on the show? It was just
No,
you?
there's 3 comics.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep. So
what were you?
I was the feature.
Okay. All right.
He had me do 25 minutes that night.
Yep.
So I I couldn't reach the dude. I thought he was dead.
Yep.
I had to get a ride back to the Airbnb from the owner of the place.
From the bartender.
And I think around this time is when I was texting you guys, "Hey, I got a
I got
story
another
for you."
story.
I'm like,
the
I'm
way-
never getting out of here. I get back to the thing. He's just puking. I'm like, I'm going to catch this virus. And there's no doctor. There's no hospital.
Right.
Like, what does he have?
Doc
And
Holliday.
all that in the second show, which was the big show. My friend's like, "Oh, they're giving us steaks and there's tons of people. It's like the nicest place." It's a place called Naches, Washington. It's it's the bottom of Mount Rainier. It's super scenic.
Yep.
It's like basically a resort.
Yeah.
Now I can't go because now I got to drive my friend 3 hours back to his house because he's fucking dying. So I got to try if this fucking disease. I feel like on Walking Dead when you get bit and you're just waiting to get the disease. I'm like, I'm gonna get this fucking thing because I'm driving. I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I'm paranoid.
No.
Never picked up on that.
Brad's hanging his head out the window the whole fucking
Ace
time.
Ventura,
3
I'm
hours.
just driving up.
Never picked up on
Oh my god.
Missed the biggest show.
You missed the biggest show.
Missed the biggest show out there. I did the third show, thank God, which was at a golf place, a country club kind of thing.
Yeah.
Which went well, went very good.
Yeah. So
but
what
when
was
I texted
it?
you was when I was in the mountains and my
So-
buddy's puking and I'm like, I'm never getting home. And I texted you guys. I'm like, I'm stuck here for the rest of my life.
So did he? I love the fact that he was texting us and not his wife
From the mountain.
right? What? So was it food poisoning or was it a virus?
So he went to the doctor the next. I couldn't remember if it was the next day or the day after. I felt like I was out there for a year.
Yeah.
One of the days he went to the doctor and they think it was food poisoning.
Food poisoning. Because
So-
that's what when Murray told me the story, goes, "You're not gonna believe what happened to Brad. His body either got food poisoning or a virus, and they don't know what it is."
So I, so remember you said you're gonna get famous out there?
Yeah.
I said, and my buddy said 200. During my set,
Yes.
I made a joke where I said, look, some comics go out to Vegas or to New York to get discovered. I
Yeah.
wanted to do a town where if you think I'm funny, you'll make me the mayor. I said, I'm at a town of 37 and there's 36 people here. The next day, or whatever, a couple of days later, my buddy who used to live out in Seattle goes, Brad, when you said 37, you were too generous. He goes, the population of that town is 27. Google it. Google it right now. I'm dead serious.
What is the town?
Rockport, Washington. Google Rockport, Washington population.
We can fit more people on the bus.
Dude, there's more population on the comedy bus. More people.
That's a way to come back around, Mike.
Oh, nice.
More
You could
people are on the
transport
bus.
the entire
That's a
town.
callback, right?
That's it. That's
If
it.
we ever take
I
the
don't
bus
have
to
him in my
Rockport-
act.
Yeah.
Fucking, I've been doing comedy 34 years. I don't have one callback in
can't-
my act. Mike just came up with one in one night, and he's not even a comic.
Dude, you could take the comedy bus to Rockport and pick up every fucking person who lives
You
there and
could
have
book-
plenty of room.
You could book the entire town of Rockport, Washington on
Oh
the
my
comedy-
gosh. Rockport, Washington is a census designated place in Skagit County, Washington, United States. The population was 109 at 2010 census, but it's 27 in 2020.
27 people. Wow.
Yep, 73 people moved the fuck out of there in 10
I
years.
went there to get discovered.
And you went there to get discovered. That is fucking hilarious.
You never know.
Oh my god.
You never know who's in the audience, Brad.
27 people, your saturation rate is
Oh my
really
god,
gonna be
though.
high.
But wait, Rockport ranks 48th of 522 areas in the state of Washington to be ranked. I don't know what the ranking
the
is.
fuck does that
Rank
mean?
of
For
what?
what? Weirdest
I don't know.
location?
Fun place to go? I don't know.
my ass, fun place to go.
Oh
For the
my
least amount of
God.
people to see you.
Ranking of comedy now.
That is,
Best place to hide a body.
dude, that is hilarious. Rockport, best place to visit.
So
That's from the tourism
That's when I was
council.
texting you guys. I was so fucking miserable when I texted you guys because I'm like, I'm gonna get sick. I can't get home.
You were worried about getting
I
I
played-
was so fucking stressed out, and that's when I texted you guys.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
That was
seriously.
I
We
feel like
need,
your segment should be.
We-
You'll never believe this.
yeah, we need to have Brad Pierce. You'll never believe this every month, at least once a month on every podcast. That's so fucking funny.
Those were the three that came to mind. I know
Oh
there's
my
probably more,
God. Are
but
those
that
the three
Washington
that you
trip.
told me?
Yeah, I
Okay.
felt like I was never getting
Yeah.
out of it. I felt like I was in that state fucking forever. I was like, I am never ever leaving the state.
Oh
It's
my
never happening.
God.
But the third show went well, so there was a little redemption. I got to see some friends and stuff. It was cool. But
No, well, you're a very funny comic. You are very funny. You just put yourself
in
in
weird
ve-
spots.
In the craziest situations.
Yeah, exactly.
Usually it's because of what you say, decisions you make, and then what you say when you're at that decision.
Exactly.
It's a two-prong approach you have.
You're-
very, very economical.
You're your own worst enemy.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I'm aware of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, 90% of my stress in that situation was self-inflicted because
Of
it's
course.
my paranoia. I couldn't
Meanwhile,
sleep.
he doesn't give a shit about the guy who's literally dying in the seat next to him.
Because again,
like,
he's already a zombie. He's already a
asshole gets me sick.
He's already a zombie.
Yeah, right.
I don't want to turn.
Yeah,
you know
right.
what I mean?
I know.
He's a Walking Dead. I'm turning.
The whole
into
time
him
he's
right
looking
now.
at his arm to see if there's a bite mark.
The guy bit me. I'm turning into him.
I could feel it going through my blood. My eyes are going gray.
I need a bus just to transport me out of this
Yeah.
Walking Dead
That guy
town.
Call
is,
him Mike.
thank
Mike,
God that
come and
guy
pick
is
me up.
way tougher than me. David is a much tougher dude than I am. Thank God, because I would have
Oh,
been
my
crying
word.
like a baby. If
All
I
right,
was him.
listen.
I love
we
having
know,
Brad on.
I love having Brad on too, but we got to let him go because he has his very
Yes.
lucrative karaoke after this.
I'm putting all my hope in this guy next to me to get me out of the karaoke industry.
Well,
No,
listen,
well, it's a good thing
honestly-
you did because he had a great idea.
Yep.
It came to fruition. He partnered with you, and you're bringing the right people to him.
And he's executing on it.
He's executing on it. So you know the talent. He's a good businessman.
Right.
So it's a
It's a
partnership,
good partnership.
that's working.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love the fact that that you're looking to expand already, and you only started last fall, right?
Yes, we
Late
launched,
fall.
We launched in
Go ahead.
the end of October. So
Okay.
really, we
Like
and
6
didn't-
months now.
Well, we didn't operate in January and February with
Yeah, really?
concerns of the snow and the ice, which
Right.
ironically never
It didn't
came.
happen, yeah,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
In
So you-
hindsight, you're like, oh shit, we
So,
could have run
yeah,
all the way around.
You're talking about four full months of operation that you've guys
Yeah.
had.
Yeah.
Like even less than that. So and the response has been absolutely incredible.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
We've gotten such good feedback from everybody that has got a chance to come on, and I feel as though the word is just spreading. So
That's great.
Sky's the limit.
Well, I know that I've seen the little mini commercial, the sponsored commercial that comes up on Facebook. So
Right.
it's only gonna spread, and we hope that by being on tonight, people learn a little bit more about it as well. Because people, I'm sure, were like, "Comedy Bus, what the hell is that? I don't
Yeah.
get it."
I know it's a weird name. It's a weird name.
but it is what it is. I
Right.
I get it. And it's a great idea. Like,
Yeah.
and it's not that it's never been done. The concept has been there. Like I said, it's very
Right.
much like the Boston Duck Tours.
which by the way, I haven't been.
Oh, really?
I've never been to Boston.
So the
but
Boston-
I've heard.
Yeah, I've been on
very
before, and
similar.
if you have the right driver and host, it's a lot of fun.
Right.
It's a lot of fun.
Exactly. We have some friends that have done it and that have been hosts, but they're driving it as well.
Yep.
And it's a little bit more around the history and less about your act
Yep.
when they do it.
Basically,
the
we're
fact-
better.
Well, but the fact that this is something a little bit different,
It's different.
but
It is.
but similar, and I think it's a great idea. It's a great beginning of the night, like you said. It's from 6 to 8, right? 6 to 8 on a Friday and a Saturday night,
Yeah,
and then
and
noon
then-
to 2 on a Sunday.
And then once we launch in Newport, it would be way more.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, because the summertime, think about it. Starting from Memorial Day through Labor Day, you could be running at least 3 to 4 tours a day.
exactly.
On that bus.
Right.
Which
So-
would make Brad very happy because he won't have to be doing
That's
karaoke
it.
those
That's
nights.
it. I'm all in on this bus dream.
Yeah.
I'm holding
So-
on to this guy.
Again, the website.
Yep. It's www.comedybus.net. And then you can hop right on there. The calendar's there. You can see all of our shows posted and book right there.
And Instagram and
Great.
Facebook, too.
Yep,
Comedy Bus.
Instagram, Facebook, and we just launched our TikTok, so that'll be good too.
Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, and once TikTok, and if you get some Instagram reels up there, that'll really spread the word as well.
Right.
And I'll put the link to the website in the show notes for today. So anybody listening, you want to check out the Comedy Bus's website and see when they have any of their tours coming up and you want to get on one, definitely Brad, book some great comics. You're going to have a great time. You definitely want to get on the Comedy Bus and check it out.
And it's a lot of fun because, like you said, it's very low key. You're drinking on the bus, you're having a fun time with the comic, but then you get to the brewery, there's free pizza, you can buy a couple of beers, you hang out at a nice brewery. And, let's face it, there's a ton of breweries in Providence. I know you go to one specific one, but
Right.
there's a bunch of them that are really, really cool that you could go to as well. So it's just a fun time.
Yeah,
It really
it's
is.
great.
I had fun as a comic being on it. So Brad, we hope, if you want to
Some
look
more
up
stories,
Brad,
Brad.
If you want to look up Brad, look up www.blackcloudcomic. You should get that, really. blackcloudcomic.com.
You need to register that
you
site.
do,
Definitely.
yeah. I'm going on GoDaddy and I'm buying that name for you right now. But no, we love having Brad on, and thanks so much for hooking us up with Mike and learning a little bit about the Comedy Bus, because
always have a blast.
It is. It's a different it's a different way of entertainment, and I love it. I absolutely love the concept.
Glad it's going well.
So listen, folks, if you enjoyed tonight, please let us know about it by subscribing. Also, you can give us a 5-star written review. We really appreciate those. And
in the show notes, click on Buy Me a Coffee, which you won't actually buy us a coffee. You'll buy us a bourbon. But
yeah.
Still, you're going to buy
the name
us
of the
something.
company.
It's a one-time donation to help us out. Helps keep the show on the air. Helps restock the bourbon shelves, whatever. But it helps us out either way. We do appreciate it. But, of course, like I said, the 5-star written review is a great way to help the podcast.
And tell a friend about us. If you enjoy the show,
a great way to help
please
us
tell
out.
a friend, because that's the best way to grow the podcast as well. And, as we outro, I'm going to play our friends from the Mixtape Podcast. Their
Definitely
promo.
check them out.
Just check them out. It's awesome. They just did one on New Wave, 80s New Wave, and they gave you a shout out because
because they did one on proms.
Oh yeah.
And they asked for songs or themes for proms from the 80s.
Yeah.
So I told them the theme for my prom, which I hated.
Yeah.
It was from Van Halen. It was Dreams.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And I hated that. My class picked that one.
Hey, you know the thing about that? Yeah, that's gay.
It was. So I when they put it out on Twitter,
Yeah.
I answered them and they put it out and gave me a shout out.
But
which I love these guys.
They're fantastic. We love those guys. So on the outro, just in case it didn't play on the intro, I'm going to play it on the outro. Hopefully
we'll
it works.
Play it again on the outro.
No, well, because now we're in the studio, so it may.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
just wondering
I'm
before.
just teasing you and
Shut
your
up,
production
Scott.
talents.
Anyway, I don't have production talents. Anyway, folks, we hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Next week, who do we have next week? Oh, next week, Scotty Boy is away.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm going to be at Daryl Hall's Club, Daryl's House Live.
That's awesome.
Doing the Boston versus New York comedy
And
series.
it's you and our buddy Frank Vignola.
I'm representing Boston. He's representing New York. And our friend Kerry Louise
is hosting, right?
She is
That's
the
awesome.
referee for that series. So I will not be here. Ace will be in-house holding the fort down and having some fun here with you guys. So check that out.
Yep, we'll be doing a panel show. And then on the 5th of April, you need to tune in because we have a guy coming on.
I'm so excited for that one.
This guy, I remember when he had his own sitcom back in the 90s or late 80s. Hilarious comic, amazing impressionist he really had an impact on me. But one of his best impressions is Robin Williams, and he has built a show and a movie now.
Yes.
All about his homage to Robin Williams, and it's called Being Robin, and it is amazing, and he is amazing. So we are going to have Roger Kabler on the 5th of April for that show. So you got to tune in for that. But folks, thank you so much for listening. Thank you again for being part of our family. And other than that,
we will talk to you
next week.
Do you love 80s and 90s music?
You freaking should.
Yeah, because if not, you have issues. But if you do, then boy, do we have the podcast for you.
The Mixtape.
Yes, Matt, the Mixtape, where we chat about, 80s and 90s music mostly.
Yeah, we sprinkle some other stuff in there too, though. A smattering of 70s and early 2000s.
Throw in celebrity interviews, a lot of immature humor, and some actual content, and you have a hell of a good time.
We do have a good time, don't we?
Yes, we do. Check us out. Spotify, Pandora, Apple, iHeart, pretty much all the places you find podcasts. You can search for us, the Mixtape Podcast. That's 4 words. Find us, listen, subscribe, share, and stay awesome.